A business case sounds boring, serious, that complicated document that you need to put together. Never really want to, but apparently have to in order to start your business. Come, let's rethink this. Instead, what if we had a business outfit? I have clients who I speak to who feel that the whole notion of creating a business case is so daunting, so much work. So I'm here to tell you that you do not have to have all the pieces together before you launch. Oftentimes, if you're suffering from the imposter syndrome, that's one of the things that you will do to keep yourself from moving forward. So, how about we had just the basics that can help you understand what your business is for and where it's going. Because that's really all a business case is. It's like a plan, it's like a map that you'll be able to look at and have an overview of what you're doing, where you're going, and how, whether or not it's profitable. So, in building our business outfit, the jargon isn't even that complicated, but it does at times sound tedious. So, this is just simplifying it greatly. So, in our outfit doesn't have very many things, but the very first thing it has is a panty. This is your valuables. In your panty is where your valuables are. Put otherwise, what are you selling? What is your product? What is your service? What is it that you're taking out to the market? When people come to you, how clearly can you explain what the value that you're providing is? And there are different kinds of value. So you can have a physical product. You have the pen, you're selling the pen, straightforward. Then that's just it. But you can have the option of something like software. If you've created a software, what are you providing? Are you providing the right to access? Like we get with our AI tools. We are given through tokens, we are paying for the right to access this tool, which is software, for a particular set period of time. They are not telling us that the outcome that the tool is going to produce is what they're selling you. They have disclaimers. I have read them. They say that you'll own it, fine, but you are only being given the time that you're using, the right to access the tool. So, what we've said there, the other example was the outcome. Think of this like paid ads in the social media platforms. So, if you've ever run an ad, you'll see that you have an option of choosing certain parameters. They ask you what it is that you're trying to achieve. So whereas they will not assure you that you will get X number of clicks on your website, but if you set out the website clicks to be the intention behind your ad, they shall somehow focus it so that becomes what is coming out from the interaction with your ads. So that is more outcome based. It could be a service. So accounting, you're an accountant, you're selling accounting services. So all of these things, sometimes they can seem tied together, especially if you're offering a package. But even then, it is important to be able to bring it down to the basic. What is the client getting from you? That is step number one. And even though it sounds straightforward, I have dealt with businesses that were so tangled up in this amazing, great thing that they were offering that they couldn't actually answer that question. So it might take time to sit with it. Don't feel that this is obvious. It might not even be obvious to you, leave alone your client. So take the time to sit with it and figure it out. The next part of our outfit is the bra. I always used to see women who stuff money down their bras. So the bra is for the money. How does the money come in? How is the money getting to you? Again, another one that might seem straightforward, but it depends on what you're doing. You might be running a cash business, so people are just actually giving you physical cash for what you're selling. The world is increasingly becoming less and less of a cash economy. Well, some places in the world. So it might be that you're using PayPal or services such as that. It could be that you need people to run a card. So card transactions, which means that you need to have a system set up that can read these cards and accept that payment. It could be that they're sending money to your bank. I actually have an example on this one because I attended an event where pop-up stalls were set up. And there was one particular lady, she was a very bright and charming lady, selling really lovely jewelry. And she hadn't thought of how she would be paid. She was so excited getting all of this set up that when my friend who was a client wanted to buy something, she got stuck. She didn't know what to do. She was asking my friend, how will you pay? So to avoid such situations, yes, you need to think about it. And especially if you have a money block, that might be something that can be difficult to sit with. The money block might be that you're just not used to creating money yourself. So when it comes to thinking about how people shall pay you, you then get this block within your mind where you're not really thinking about how that shall happen. Oh, we're meant to be having an example along the way. So we have Stella. Stella is our imaginary selves. She's a woman and she is thinking of starting a bakery. So in her example, her valuables that are in her panty, that is she could be cake, which is just straightforward. But she might sell many other things. A bakery could sell baguette, it could sell bread, it could sell cookies, it could sell pancakes, it could sell croissants. So there may be all number of things that she's thinking of selling in her bakery. And when she's just starting off, because that's where we are, it's important to not have the whole world. Have narrower samples, maybe just the cake and the cookies or something like that, or even just the cake. And then you see how the market reacts to that. You see where you're selling it, how it's going. And then in time, you can come and increase to offer everything under the sun. And in the second case, the question of the bra, the money, it's the same thing. So it could be that she has a card machine, she's taking cash. So our bakery example is in step with us. So our next part of our outfit is the pants, the trousers. And this signifies motion, how you're moving to where it is that you're going. Yeah? So here it asks, how does the product get to the market? Is a question I have there. So it could be physical. You might open an actual shop or office, and depending on what you're doing. You could be relying on online sales. You might have a distribution system that is taking care of how your product is getting from point A to point B. It could be you who's physically visiting your clients. So there are different ways of getting your product out there, and you need to consider this. For my book, Date Like Cleopatra, I'm using Amazon. It's self-published on Amazon, and Amazon is my distribution channel. And what they do is they print on demand. When someone purchases the book in whatever country, they shall print it and deliver it to their address. So that is, for me, a very useful tool. I also have them physically at 2 locations. One in Nairobi, Textbook Center, and another here in Stockholm, Bookhandlen in Nicole. So those are options that you might have. Depending again on your business, maybe you're coaching or you're providing services that have no need for physical interaction as such, can do without it. So maybe you're using Zoom as a platform to get to your clients. It could be a franchise partnership. So maybe our dear friend Stella with her cakes, perhaps what she does is that she gets into a deal with a coffee shop and she supplies her cakes to the coffee shop and then they do the selling for her. So that is a means of her providing the product into the market. Something else that she could do is that she could have door to door. So she could actually be knocking on her neighbors' doors and telling them that she has cakes and would they like to buy. That is an option. Of course, a physical bakery is something she can open, and she can have online sales. I saw a bakery that does that here in Stockholm locally. They allow you to order online and then you come and pick at one of 2 or 3 physical locations in the city. So distribution means can be different, again, depending on what it is that you are supplying. All right. The next we go to the shoes. The shoes talk about geography. What is the expanse of your market? How far are you selling it? Is it something that, like Stella with her cakes, is going to be knocking door to door? Or is it something that is globally available, like my book on Amazon? Yeah. So these are different options that are available, but you need to think within your reality. What makes sense for you? Is it something that you want to sell within your town? Does that make sense? Do you want to have one physical shop where everything happens from? Is the online avenue taking it to different countries, maybe a set of 3 countries within your locality, or even a set of 3 countries somewhere far away from you? So it's important to think about this. Why? Because it's going to determine actually your delivery system. So if you're only delivering within your local town, then you do not need to be engaging with international shipping companies, depending, of course, on where you're sourcing from. Those are considerations that will help you. And the reason we are setting all these up, and as you see, they're not terribly complex. These are things you're going to need to think about. You might not initially think about the where, because you might already have taken it for granted to be local. So the fact that you didn't take the time to consider it doesn't mean that it is not something that you have implemented. All right, in our bakery with Stella, has local, geographical, same thing. Then the next place we go to is your top. So within your top, I've divided this into two. You have your right sleeve and your left sleeve. So your right sleeve is who you are selling to. Who are your customers? Who are your clients? Who is the ideal person that you want to be buying from you? In the case of Stella, it could be parents for children's birthdays. It could be vegans, incidentally. It could be that she's created that particular niche for herself. So in your case, who are you selling to? And consider why that particular group of who. When I was writing my book and trying to sell it, one of the things that I initially had difficulty with is this concept of who, because I thought it's a book for everybody. Meanwhile, my book is called Date Like Cleopatra. So in and of itself, it assumes that the target client is female already. So then, yes, I had to say female, but even then I had to break it down a little more. So because it is called Date Like Cleopatra, the good girl flips the script. It is targeted to people who are good girls, who were brought up to see themselves as smaller in a particular way because of how society brought them up. So I had to then put all these parameters into place and then from there determine that I actually do have an ideal kind of client who I want to sell to. It doesn't mean that other people cannot buy. They are absolutely welcome to buy. But when you have that focus of who your target client is, it's easier for you to speak to them directly, to target them, because then the words you're using, the places you're selling, all of that comes together to target this particular person you have in mind. That's one sleeve. So the other sleeve, your left sleeve, is looking at who you're buying from. You have suppliers, even though sometimes we don't always think about it. If you have a consultancy business that you're running from your bedroom and you're just taking calls, you have your internet service provider, you have your Zoom provider, you have, maybe you're working with AI, you're paying Anthropic, you're paying OpenAI. So all of those are suppliers. If you have an office space, then you're being supplied with a space. That is the rent that you're paying. You have employees. They're supplying you with their time and services. It goes into there. You have accounting software. That is something you're paying for. So you're looking at everything. So within the business, so you take a business account that is separate from the other accounts that you have. And in this business account, look at all the money that is going out specifically for the business and all the money that is coming in specifically for the business. So that is the sleeves. And there you have it. Not terribly complicated. What you're doing with these figures, especially like what we're just talking about, the suppliers, the people who you are paying. In my case, it's also things like networking events. I go to networking events and I pay some fees. Because why? In networking events, it is my intention to meet up with potential clients. So all of these things are costs to the business. And the importance of being able to lay out the figures is that you can then see if the amount I am paying in networking fees and all the other costs that I get into are more than how much I have charged my offering, then there's something wrong with the business. It is not balancing. It is not worth my time to engage in it. So this put together to show that if you think of it as an outfit, so again, let's go back to it. It is the panty, which is your value. It is the bra, how the money is coming in. It is the pants, which is the movement, the distribution, how your product is getting out into the market. It is the top, with one sleeve that is talking about who you're selling to and another sleeve that is talking about who you're buying from. If you have that kind of structure in place, you're set. then yes, there's a lot of other nitty-gritties that you can put in and things that are actually quite important. But if you have been self-sabotaging and saying that you do not yet want to start, that is a place to start. I appreciate your time, and I'll let you know something very important. I'm running a session. If this sounds very nice, but you're not really sure how to do it in practice, look down in the comments and see the sessions that I am running to show you exactly how to do this.